Body. I will call this meeting to order at 6:03. Madam Clerk Rosine, have you received any correspondence on tonight's agenda?
Yes, the council's received correspondence in your red folders.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Yes, Councilmember Dynas? Here. Councilmember Diedrich?
Here.
Councilmember Temple?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Carwin?
Here.
And Mayor Estrada.
Here. Next, we're on the words of inspiration. I'd like to welcome up Nui Molesi with Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to come to the podium to provide the words of inspiration. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Our Father in heaven, we come together as city leaders and members of this community, grateful for the opportunity to discuss matters of this city. We seek for inspiration to grow closer together as members of this community. We ask that you continue to inspire our city members to better unify our community. We ask that you please continue to bless those around our community, that they will be able to find peace in their hearts, that we will work together to make this city a better place to live in for ourselves and for our families around us. We ask that you to please bless and watch over our law enforcement and watch over our city leaders, and to continue to help them and better serve our community and our city in Menifee. And these things we pray in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ, amen.
Thank you, Mr. Molesi. We appreciate your words of inspiration. Next, we're on the Pledge of Allegiance. I see David Faust in the audience. Mr. Faust, can you please lead us in the pledge, sir?
Thank you, Mayor. Remove your hats, right hand on your heart, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Faust. Next, we're on presentations. This is our presentation on the retirement recognition of Police K-9 Emmy. We're all excited about this. I would like to ask Officer Quincy Mercado and Emmy to come to the front of the dais, and Lieutenant Revelis will introduce and speak about Emmy's work. Okay, Ben, be careful. She's gonna come in through the side.
All right, well, good evening, Mayor, council members, and community. I appreciate all of you being here. Tonight I have the honor of recognizing K9 Emmy on her well-deserved retirement. For those of you that don't know, K9 Emmy joined us in 2020 as one of our first police service dogs. And from 2021 to 2025, Emmy assisted in over 48 arrests where her mere presence led to a peaceful resolution in taking dangerous suspects into custody. She also assisted in over 230 incidents where she could have been used as a de-escalation tool as well. She provided support for over 50 agencies and assisted in 30 perimeter searches. She was also responsible for seizing nearly 50 pounds of methamphetamines, keeping that dangerous drug out of our neighborhoods. So each of these numbers represents a life protected, crime deterred, and officers who went home safely. And aside from all her wonderful work on the streets, she also connected with the community at demonstrations, and she was recognized for top honors in agility and narcotics detection, all while working alongside some of the best tactical teams that we have in the region. So Emmy leaves behind a great legacy of courage, and it's one that we as a unit intend to carry forward through years to come. So on behalf of the department and the city, we want to thank Emmy and her handler for their dedication and their service to the last 5 years. And we want to congratulate her and wish her well in her well-deserved retirement. Okay, ready?
We want to say thank you to Emmy and the entire Menifee Police Department. Councilmember Temple will read the recognition of appreciation for Officer Mercado, and then Mayor Pro Tem will read the certificate of appreciation for Emmy. Councilmember Temple, lead us off.
All right. This is for Officer Quincy Mercado. The Menifee City Council extends its gratitude to you, Officer Quincy Mercado, for your outstanding dedication, professionalism, and partnership with K9 Emmy in serving and protecting the Menifee community. Thank you so much.
I noticed that we didn't give Emmy a last name on this. So should we just call her Emmy Menifee? Emmy Mercado? That's right. It says, the Menifee City Council proudly recognizes Police K9 Emmy for 5 years of devoted service to the city of Menifee. Her loyalty, skill, and exceptional contributions have been instrumental in protecting and ensuring the safety of our community. Thank you, Emmy.
Next, we'll get together with the council up from the back. And I see our PIO, Phil, here. Phil, can we take a photo, please?
So you don't have to worry about getting bit or something. That's right. We'll just stand on the chairs.
Next, we're on item 5.2, Fire Prevention Week Proclamation. October is recognized as Fire Prevention Month, a time to raise awareness about fire safety and remind us of the importance of being prepared. This evening, we have Chief Scoville with us to share important information on fire prevention and safety in our community. Would Council and Chief Scoville please join me at the front of the dais, please? Good evening, Chief Scoville. We're proud to have you and the entire fire department here. I'll let you introduce and present the item on Fire Prevention Week.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Council members, city staff, everybody here, thank you very much. This is an important week because this is a National Fire Prevention Week, right? And in National Fire Prevention Week, it was established because of the Great Chicago Fire in 1871. That fire caused everybody in the nation to look at fire prevention as a before fire happens. It's prevention, not after the fire happens. So it changed a lot of the laws and orders throughout the nation for fire safety, where we get fire suppression. Where that comes into play is all of our fire safety inspectors, Fire Marshal, Sonia Boo, Ileana Gutierrez, Pringles, Martin, and Fontaine here. That's all my nicknames for all of them. These guys all work very, very hard every single day for this city to try and ensure that the fire prevention, before the fire happens, these guys are the ones making it happen. They're the ones enforcing all of the codes, all of the bad things that nobody really wants to follow. We're the ones that got to enforce it. So you can blame them. I'm a good guy, right? All right. With that all being said, let me tell you what this year's theme is. This year's theme is a spotlight on charge into fire safety with lithium-ion batteries in your home. Lithium-ion batteries power many of the devices we rely on daily, but they also pose fire risks if not handled properly. Here are 3 simple yet powerful steps we can all take to stay fire safe. Step 1, choose certified products. When buying battery-powered items, look for safety certifications like UL, ETL, or CSA. These marks aren't just symbols, they're a promise that the product meets rigorous safety standards. Step 2, charge smart. These are for distance, not for reading, so stand by. Charge smart. Always use the original charging equipment, follow the manufacturer's guidelines, and avoid charging on soft surfaces or while you sleep. Unplugging devices once fully charged is a small habit that can prevent a bigger disaster. Step 3, recycle responsibly. Now, never throw lithium-ion batteries in the trash. They can ignite fires in garbage trucks or recycling facilities. Instead, take them to improved drop-off sites. Resources like calltorecycle.org make it easy to find one near you. By taking these steps, we're not just protecting our homes and local businesses, we're strengthening the safety of our entire community. Fire prevention is a year-round commitment, and together we can make lasting impacts. Thank you once again for recognition and for your continued support for fire safety in the city of Menifee. Wishing everyone a safe and informed Fire Prevention Week. It starts on Sunday, which gives me the opportunity now to announce that we will be having an open house at the Quail Valley Fire Station on October 5th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. for community engagement and further fire prevention education. It'll be a great little thing for you guys to bring the families over and to see things. No, we're not. I don't think we're providing a bunch of food. No, I'm sorry about that. So the firemen's aren't cooking this year, but we're definitely going to be having some swag to hand out to everybody and an opportunity for the kids to come and look at the fire engines and become excited about fire safety. With that, I hand the mic back over to Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Chief Scoville. I walked out the door today and I made sure I was wearing red for Fire Prevention Week and was supporting the whole department. Thank you so much for making this presentation, keeping our residents informed, bringing the awareness. And that's really exciting that you're having the open house. Our department here does a great job of being involved in the community. I see you guys everywhere, and that Quail Valley open house is something exciting. I'm happy for the community, and I'm happy that you're sharing that with everyone. I'll pass the mic along to our fellow council members. I'll start over with Dean Dinas.
Well, as whether it's your health or personal safety or fire, prevention's always the best way to go. That's what I was taught. So that causes a lot less problems and a lot less heartache. So I know for a lot of people that are coming here to visit us here at City Hall, when they have plans, it's like, oh man, another hoop I have to jump through. But when they're safe and they don't have to worry about their structure catching fire, then it's well worth it. So thank you for all that you do.
They applauded you for that.
Yeah.
We've got a great team here. We don't run into a lot of new development that is just randomly catching fire, and that's because we're inspecting it along the way and making sure everything is done properly. And we've got days like this where we're reminding people of the ways to stay safe, and that's one of the things. I mean, it all ties into Menifee being one of the top 20 safest cities in California. That ties in with fire as well. People always give that credit to the police department, but I think it's mainly fire.
That's because he left.
So we're happy to give this proclamation. Thanks for everything you do to help keep us safe.
So I want to know the source of the nicknames. Maybe we can talk about that later on. But you know, we appreciate very much all the hard work, the hundreds of inspections that you do annually, and the professionalism you exhibit. So thank you so much for that.
I'm going to wrap it up now with the proclamation, but before that, I just want to say how much we all truly appreciate our fire department and all that you do, both before the fires and after the fires. So thank you for that. And so today, now therefore, the City Council of the City of Menifee, California, does hereby proclaim the week of October 5th through 11th, 2025, as Fire Prevention Week in the City of Menifee.
Okay, next, Phil, can we have a photo, please, sir? All right. And everyone in the department, come on over in the middle. We want you guys in the middle. We want you guys in the middle. All right. We'll scoot down. Next, we're on agenda approval or modifications. Madam Clerk, are there any modifications to tonight's agenda?
There are none.
Can I ask the City Council for all in favor to approve the agenda? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. Next, we're on public comments for non-agenda items. Madam Clerk, are there any public comments on non-agenda items?
There are.
Okay, then I will go ahead and read this public statement. This is the time for members of the public to address the council about items which are not listed on the agenda. The Ralph M. Brown Act limits the council's ability to respond to comments on non-agendized matters at the time such comments are made. Each speaker will be allotted up to 3 minutes on any single item. Madam Clerk, can you please call the first speaker?
Lupe Jenkins, followed by Jesse Sims.
Good evening, Ms. Jenkins.
Hello again. Good evening, members of our City Council. We've got a little prop just to remind, this is the newest thing this week. So I'm here to speak on behalf of the many residents in Menifee who have stepped up to do what our city has not done for our communities, lost and abandoned animals. Right now, citizens are providing foster care, paying for boarding, organizing adoptions, and feeding strays, all on their own time and out of their own pockets. Every day on platforms like Nextdoor, people try to reunite lost pets with their families and find themselves safe homes. Why don't they bring them to AFV? Because they know it's overcrowded and that animals may be euthanized simply due to space. We have wonderful local rescues trying to help, but many say the city makes it difficult to gain approval or offer support. These organizations are carrying out responsibilities that really should be falling on our city. As the cost of living continues to rise, more families are going to be forced to give up their pets they love. Too often, they leave them in open fields, hoping someone else will step in. These animals wait for their owners to return, some until death. Menifee has no local shelter and no city-supportive alternatives. And while volunteers are doing all they can, this is not a sustainable solution. I've seen what's possible in El Cajon, San Diego, a city with fewer resources than ours. I volunteered at a shelter for 4 years that welcomed pets even from outside the area. They would actually bring them down from Riverside to us because they didn't want them euthanized. And that city made it a priority, and we hope Menifee will too. I urge you to consider building a local no-kill shelter, not just to house animals, but to support families, to educate the public, and show that we are a city that cares. Our residents have made it clear that pets matter. Now it's time for the city to reflect that same compassion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Jenkins.
I'll see you again.
Jesse Sims, followed by Lori Clough.
Good evening, Mr. Sims.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, city staff, community members, and public. Thank you. My name is Jesse Sims. I'm the president of Netvolutions Technology Group, and I'm the chair for the Menifee Valley Chamber of Commerce. And tonight, I just want to give you a quick update about what's going on with our chamber. First, our chamber is in an amazing growth spurt. So we are growing. We're adding 10 to 20 members, new businesses to our chamber every month. So that's very exciting for us, and we're excited about how we're making an impact for our business community. We are also in the midst of planning 2 signature events for this year. The first, as you all know, is on November the 7th, is our State of the City address. It is being put on at HCN Bank Stadium. There will be a VIP reception at 4:30 p.m. That will be a ticketed event. And then after that, at 6 p.m., is the State of the City address, where all the members of the city and members at large, anyone that would like to, public, is welcome to attend free of charge, and we're encouraging that. And so please record that information and make sure that you share that with others, that the State of the City is happening on November the 7th. We're also planning for our awards gala on December the 5th. The theme is Illuminate the Future. We'll have a number of different awards there. That will be Large Business of the Year, Small Business of the Year, Nonprofit of the Year. There will be some others awards as well. And we'll be recognizing some distinguished members as well. The Chamber also is working on a 2026 visitor and residence guide, as well as our holiday shopping guide to promote local businesses during the holiday season. And as you are, as members of the, just attending here tonight, please understand that our local Menifee businesses rely heavily on you. And so as you are here and seeing, as you're making decisions about where to buy those important gifts for your loved ones, please consider Menifee businesses along with your shopping routine. All right, thank you. Again, my name is Jesse Sims. I'm the chair for the Menifee Valley Chamber, and I appreciate your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Sims. Madam Clerk, next speaker.
Lori Clough.
Nothing written up, so
Okay,
good evening,
ma'am.
everyone. I just wanted to state that I really hope that this city looks into a city animal shelter. It is very needed with the growth that we are all anticipating. That means more families, more pets. Our shelters cannot handle pretty much what they have now. They try very hard. So please, please think about it and help us get this done. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next speaker?
No other speakers.
No other speakers? All righty. Next, we're going to go on to council member updates and comments. I'll start with council member Diedrich.
Thank you, Mayor. Since the last meeting, we all attended the joint city council meeting with the Parks Commission to discuss the valley-wide parks. I also, as part of my committee designations, attended the Chamber of Commerce meeting, and Mr. Sims already stole a little bit of my thunder. I think you didn't give the specific number, but this last month, the Chamber added 20 new members this last month, so that's an amazing feat. So I'm grateful for the growth that the Chamber is experiencing. And then also attend the Regalado ribbon cutting, a new grocery store north of McCall. That's all to report this time.
Thank you, council member Diedrich. Council member Temple.
Yes, Mayor. On the 22nd, I also attended the joint special meeting between the council and the Parks Commission. And then on the 19th, I attended the celebrity karaoke, which benefited the community covered. That's my report.
Thank you. Councilmember Dynas.
Thank you, Mayor. Since I was not at the last council meeting, I was busy enjoying my 50th wedding anniversary. So I have, thank you. The applause goes to my wife, trust me. So I have a few more things to report out that some of you may have heard already, but on the 9th, I attended a finance committee meeting. September the 10th, I attended the RCTC board meeting representing our Mayor Pro Tem who couldn't make it. Then on the 20th, I attended the VFW 1956 annual barbecue. It was a great time, a lot of stuff. It was a family event, so that was great. And then today, I attended the RTA Admin and Operations Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Carwin.
Thank you, Mayor. I did attend a Rotary meeting. The Deputy City Manager and I had a meeting with Ambient Communities, who is the owner of the Cherry Hills and North Golf Courses, to talk about their plans for the future. I was at the Regalado Market ribbon cutting. It's a new Hispanic market that's in where the Ponderosa used to be. So if you're looking for specialty spices and items and butcher shop items, they're open. Attended the ribbon cutting of the Gray Iron Brewing Company. I saw the mayor there. That was, they've taken over for the Mason Jar. They bought the Mason Jar spot, and they're in that location. They're open for business. I attended a retirement party for Jerome Robinson, who is a longtime Sun City resident, also a second-generation member of the Platters singing group. He, after 57 years in the music industry, is retiring, and Robbie Motter, one of our great residents, put on a party celebrating him. I was able to attend. That same night, I went over to the Live Jam music event over at the Cultural Center and saw a cool band. Bo LePage came down from Los Angeles, played all original music, real concert for free. Look for those. And I was honored, requested to throw out the first pitch at the Menifee Senior Softball season. So I went out there and they let me throw underhand. You know, I didn't have to throw overhand because it's softball, and which was much easier. Made it to the plate. I think it was a strike. If there was a batter there, they would have swung. I'll give you that much. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you. I attended the Menifee Valley Community Cupboard as well with Councilmember Temple. My wife and I sang karaoke. We did Pitbull and Christina Aguilera, Feel This Moment. We won Most Entertaining. That was fun.
Mayor Pitbull.
Yeah. And it went towards a good cause. We raised some money for the cupboard. I had the Education Summit pre-meeting with Mayor Pro Tem Carwin. I think you missed that one. And we talked about what's coming up for our partnership with the school districts and the plan how the city can better work with them. We had the Valley-wide meeting, joint meeting with the Parks Commission. I also attended the Gray Iron Brewery ribbon cutting with Mayor Pro Tem Carwin. And good news, they said they're investing in the upper floor of their brewery, and it could be a community meeting room from what I understand. So I know our community is always looking for meeting spaces. So that's one place people can get together in the future. And I just want to end on happy 17th birthday, Menifee. Feliz cumpleaños. Okay, everyone, next we're going to go on to the approval of the minutes. There are 2 sets of minutes for the council's consideration. Does the council have any modifications?
Mr. Mayor, I'll abstain from September 17th vote since I was absent.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Dynas. We'll note that in the minutes that you abstained from September 17th. Can I ask the City Council for an all in favor of approving the September 17th and September 22nd meeting minutes? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Next, we are on the consent calendar. All matters on the consent calendar are to be approved in one motion unless a council member requests a separate action on a specific item on the consent calendar. If an item is removed from the consent calendar, it will be discussed individually and acted upon separately. Unless otherwise directed by a member of the City Council, the vote on ordinance adoptions will reflect the prior action of each council member when the ordinance was introduced. However, if a council member is not present at the City Council meeting, their vote will be reflected as absent. Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak on consent calendar items?
No requests.
Okay. Are there any items the council wishes to pull for further discussion? Okay, I have 2 items I'd like to pull. I'd like to pull 10.6 and 10.10, please. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the balance of the consent calendar?
So moved.
That passes 5-0. Okay, next we'll start off with 10.6. This is the Veterans and Military Advisory Committee's review of property tax exemption rebate for disabled veterans. I don't need to do a presentation. I will forgo the presentation. I just had a few comments for discussion. So colleagues, as you know, this is a topic I've been passionate about for a couple years, been talking about it for a couple years. And you know, I've read kind of the writing on the wall with the sentiment, and if I don't have support on this, I understand, and no problem. I respectfully understand that maybe the council might not be in support of it. But, you know, with this proposal, you know, I wanted to bring this topic forward because over the past couple years, you know, I advocated for supporting our veterans, and I wanted to explore the possibility of a property tax rebate. And through these discussions, through the staff report, we see that it is possible to give property tax exemptions to veterans. It is legal. And so that is one question that I wanted to pursue, and it was answered, and the answer is yes, we can. We have a recommendation not to support the property tax rebate from the committee. And I'm a little disappointed. I wish the committee was a little bit more supportive of funding programs. The last couple of things we've sent to them, like the military banners, didn't get support on funding for the military banners. Didn't get support on the property tax rebate. And that's okay. We have a difference of opinion on that. I don't agree with the recommendation. Another thing I wanted to propose is next year is our 250th birthday in America, 2026. And we have, according to the staff report, 1,400 100% disabled veterans currently who qualify for a property tax exemption. And seeing how 2026 is the 250th birthday of America, I wanted to put a proposal out there, and we don't have to agree on it tonight, but seeing as next year's our 250th birthday, providing 100% disabled veterans with a one-time $250 property tax rebate in appreciation of our veterans, in recognition of America's 250th birthday. $250 times the 1,400 disabled veterans would come out to about $350,000, which is doable. $350,000 is doable within our city budget. And so this is a policy decision that I advocated for, and I wanted to present forward, and just to show support and appreciation for our 100% disabled. Those are all my comments. Mayor Pro Tem Corwin?
Yeah, I don't know if there's an implication there that we don't support veterans by not giving them a $350,000 tax rebate. We're obviously a city that's hugely supportive of veterans. That's one of the reasons we formed the Veteran and Military Families Advisory Committee, is so people with that perspective and that particular focus can give us feedback on policy from a grassroots level, and they voted unanimously against this, and I think we set it up for that purpose, to have it filtered through them. They felt that it wasn't an insult. They felt that it was in the best interest of the city, and I think that the reason we set them up as a committee on Councilmember Dinas' suggestion is so these military issues could be filtered through somebody with that kind of focused eye, and I'm intending to respect them for that. With all the respect for the military and the support that I have, we did this to support our military, and that committee is recommending denial, and so I'm going to honor that.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Carwin. I want to throw out this proposal, one-time proposal, one-time rebate for our 250th birthday. I'm at peace for bringing it up, and that's all. Do I have do I have a motion to approve or to deny? Oh, I see Councilmember Diedrich. Were you in the queue, sir? Okay, go ahead, sir.
Sure, yeah, I mean, I think we all know how much us behind the council respect and honor our veterans and our military. I don't think that goes without any saying. I don't think whether we vote yes or no on this, whether that changes that. But what you're proposing, the one time, I mean, are you suggesting that we vote on that tonight, or that that one-time redemption go back to the military committee for them to review that and bring it back to us for a further vote at a later date? I mean, I don't think we can even vote on it tonight, correct?
I'm not asking for a formal vote on it, just maybe when mid-cycle or our mid-year budget review comes around and if we come across one-time unrestricted funds, that's just something to think about at a later time. Just a proposal that I'm throwing out there. It's on the agenda, and I thought it was an opportunity to discuss this item.
So I would just say that I'm all with you for further discussion on that at another point in time, and whether that goes back to the military committee again formally, or if we just have it when we come back at mid-cycle, I would support that.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Diedrich. Perhaps a future agenda item would be to send back the one-time $350,000 for 2026. Would I have your support on a future agenda request to send back to them?
Yes, I would give my support on that.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Diedrich. Okay, I see no other discussion at this time. Do I have a motion to approve this recommendation?
I'll move.
Okay, we have a move. And do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. That passes 4-1 on the recommendation. Next, we're on 10.10. This is Menifee Hills Salt Creek Trail Connection Study Capital Improvement Program Project. I see our director, Mariana Mitchell. Good evening, Mrs. Mitchell.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Community Services Director Mariana Mitchell, and it's my pleasure to bring tonight some additional information about this item. If I can please have the PowerPoint presentation up. There we go, perfect. So again, this item before you is for consideration for funding a study for the connectivity between Menifee Hills and the Salt Creek Trail. Just for a little bit of background information, Menifee Hills is the just under 400-acre undeveloped land that the city had purchased back in May. So it spans across 19 parcels. It's the area that is in between Antelope Road, Menifee Road, and just north of the Oasis community. So it's a very wide, open-spaced area that is the acquisition was made in hopes to promote ecotourism and then also preserve some of our natural open spaces. And it's also frequently used amongst the public as a place for hiking and biking and trails. A number of user-created trails already exist on the property. So as you can see, it's a relatively scenic view if you're up at the top. And I want to commend one of our Quality of Life Committee members, Phil Durner, who actually took the opportunity to go out there and actually film some of the wildlife that's in and around the area. So lots of opportunities for nature observation, for getting out there, getting active, and really engaging with our open spaces. Additionally, we have the Salt Creek Trail. So this is a regional backbone trail throughout Riverside County that spans across multiple cities. So this is approximately 16 miles. We have 4.1 miles that currently exists in Menifee, and it's the paved multi-use trail that currently exists. And right now we're looking at the 1.6 miles, which would connect the paved portion to the other side of Salt Creek Trail leading out to the exit of the city. And so this is a user created trail as well. It's a dirt pathway. And we recently did a feasibility study back in 2023 to kind of figure out what it would take in order to really solidify that trail as a component to the Salt Creek Trail to create the connectivity throughout the entirety of the city. And so through that study, we anticipated it would cost just about $1.6 million to acquire any of the maintenance easements that are necessary to improve and update and make sure that that trail can be safely used by the public. And so we are currently pursuing grant funding for this project as well. And so the item we have before you tonight is trying to put those items together. And so we are looking to allocate about $125,000 from the Commerce Point Development Fund in order to get a study going in order to identify the ways that we can activate all of these areas. How do we make the Menifee Hills more accessible to the public? How do we connect it to Salt Creek Trail? How do we engage with our community to ensure that there's circulation in and around the area? And so that's essentially what this study would do in order to give us the information needed on the investments that it will take in order to acquire either additional property so that we can build that long sought after trailhead parking lot area or additional access points in and around the city's own property. So essentially that's what we're asking, and we're really excited about the opportunity to see these Menifee Hills become more accessible to many more of our residents in ways in connectivity with existing routes like the Salt Creek Trail. And that concludes my report. If there's any other questions.
Thank you, Director Mitchell. Council, do we have any questions for staff at this time? Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
There are none.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Now we'll move on to discussion. I thought this was a great item to highlight. We were just talking about our unique identity, the importance of the hills, and this is a great project where we're amending the CIP plan to bring more connectivity, connect Salt Creek Trail to the Menifee Hills, and I'm excited for our community, I'm excited for our city, and it looks like we're going hard on this topic, and I'm looking forward to it. Mayor Pro Tem Carwin?
So about an hour ago, I said we need to get work on the Menifee Hills project as quickly as possible. And right now, here we go.
We aim to deliver.
If only everything in the city of Menifee moved at that speed. So I just want to say this is fantastic. I appreciate the mayor pulling this to highlight it, and it's something that we have all talked about. And having the public see exactly what it is that we're trying to accomplish here is a great thing. So hopefully you and your team can get right on this, and we're going to have all kinds of stuff. But if we could just stop it at the border of Hemet to make sure that maybe put a toll gate in over there or something, the Salt Creek Trail. That'd be my only suggestion.
This is a great project for the right-of-way and accessibility for our residents. Thank you to the department and staff for bringing this forward. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve. Can I get a second?
Second.
That passes 5-0. Next, we're on item 12, discussion items. There are no public hearing items tonight. 12.1 is a valley-wide recreation and park district landscape maintenance district discussion. Mariana Mitchell, Director Mitchell, please lead us off.
All right. A good evening once again. Mariana Mitchell, Community Services Director, and excited to be able to bring this opportunity back to City Council for further consideration. Just want to give a little bit of background information on this item in case some of our residents at home may not have been able to participate or view our workshop, which took place on September 22nd. But we are looking at the Valleywide Park and Recreation District. And so that is a district that serves the majority of the parks on the east side of the 215 freeway within Menifee boundaries. This is a rather large district established in 1972 that serves a much larger population beyond the city of Menifee and into several unincorporated areas throughout Riverside County. So overall, as a park district, they have over 100 parks, various community centers and amenities and an aquatic facility. So when we're talking about Valleywide Park and Recreation and Park District, for this item, we're going to be looking at the amenities are within the city of Menifee boundaries. So specifically with Menifee, there are three distinct districts, three landscape maintenance districts. We have Menifee Parks, which is located kind of in the center of the city on the east side of the 215 freeway, which is entirely within the city boundaries. We have Menifee North, which is on the northern portion, and approximately 20% of that district is outside of the city boundaries. And then we also have Menifee South, with approximately 6% of that district lying outside of the district's boundaries. And so for this item, we were tasked with identifying the cost of assuming maintenance of those landscape and maintenance districts, which is what we reviewed at the workshop on the 22nd. So just as a recap on the workshop, the presentation did include an overview of Valleywide operations when we talked about the boundaries, the type of facilities and amenities that exist within the three districts. We compared city operations to Valleywide service levels and operations. For the parks within the city of Menifee, we're relatively comparable, with the city of Menifee having 22 parks, Valleywide 24. We're right in the same range with the city of 6 million right-of-way square footage and Valleywide at 5.5, and our facilities are kind of in the same ballpark as well. So looking at that in the presentation, we also provided additional information on what the cost would be if the city were to maintain each of those districts at the level of service that we currently maintain our Menifee parks. And so we did have some additional information on the finances and what it would take, and ultimately there is going to be a general fund requirement if that is the direction council wishes to go in. And we'll go through that information a little more further in the presentation. And lastly, we did outline the annexation process, what it would take for us to apply with LAFCO, potentially having to go through a Prop 218 vote, and in order to give the full idea of what this process would take. So based on the discussion from the workshop, we did talk about some of the benefits. Why is this coming forward, or why has it been a topic of conversation for quite some time? Really, it comes down to service consistency and the opportunity for local control. But of course, there are a number of concerns, one of those being the fiscal impacts to the general fund, considering that some of the districts, especially the Menifee Parks one, which is the oldest, doesn't have any built-in escalators like our community facilities districts do. And then the procedural challenges of potentially having to go down the route of a Proposition 218 vote. And so with the feedback that we received, we are bringing this item back for council consideration. We have three very distinct options that we're going to review and hopefully get some additional feedback and some direction to staff. So option one, which was something that we talked about, could potentially be the partnership approach, taking an opportunity to strengthen a collaboration with Valleywide, maybe coordinating how we facilitate our field allocation process, joint planning, clarifying roles and responsibilities when we talk about our levels of service, and then potentially coming up with several agreements or maintenance agreements, things of that nature. But again, that would be the partnership approach, really looking at trying to minimize the fiscal impact on this, meaning that it would essentially be staff working with Valleywide staff hand in hand to determine what our residents' needs are and kind of work towards establishing some partnerships and joint coordination on that. So under this approach, services would remain under Valleywide, and it would just be, again, looking at potential agreements and on these items. For option 2, we have partial annexation, and so this is the one where we're looking at Menifee Parks, which is the district that completely encompassed within the city. So this one is 65 acres, 12 parks, 1.2 million square foot landscaped areas, and 2 facilities. The main parks on this one are going to be Wheatfield Park, which is where we host our annual Independence Celebration, as well as Lago Vista Sports Park. And the facilities that are associated with this district are the Wheatfield Community Center and the Menifee Gym, which is it currently has a joint use agreement with MUSD, and if we were to take that on, we would have to negotiate some type of joint use. So for this one, LAFCO application would be required. However, because of our understanding of our previous experience, because it is completely encompassed within the city boundaries, a Proposition 218 vote would not be anticipated. So for this one, we had talked about the fiscal impact just being a little under $650,000, and that's our current calculations. And this is because there's a number of items that cannot be paid out of these tax assessments. And so those are items related to our recreation programming, our sports field lighting, and any additional support that would go to Menifee Parks that may not be covered under the current existing tax assessments. And additionally, additional funds will be required for an asset inventory review, meaning that we would have to take the opportunity to review the parks and compare them to how our city's standard of care is and identify what the capital investments for either repair or replacement might be needed. There is also the one-time LAFCO application fee, which is about $40,000, and additional staff time and legal fees associated with this process. So the third and final option that we have would be the full annexation. So this would be looking at the Menifee Parks, the Menifee North, and Menifee South. We've got a map here. You can kind of identify the 3 areas: Menifee Parks in blue, Menifee North in green, and Menifee South in pink. So this altogether is 148 acres, the 24 parks that are all within the city boundaries. Would also include Menifee Gym and the Wheatfield Community Center, as well as the Marion V. Ashley Community Center and Eller Park. However, those are still technically county facilities, so those would also require negotiating a joint use agreement with Riverside County. And this would require a LAFCO application, and from our previous experience, we understand because of the areas that lie outside of the city boundaries, a Proposition 218 vote for Menifee North and South particularly. So we have additional information that outlines the annexation process that I'll share in a slide just so we can kind of see the timeline. But overall, the fiscal impact for all 3 areas is going to be over $1.5 million, because it's not just again that recreation component, but also the fact that there's Menifee Parks, again the no escalators, and then also we're unsure of what the capital assessments and needs will be at this point in time for all 3 districts. We do anticipate that there's going to be a one-time fee, not just for the LAFCO application, but also fees associated with conducting the Proposition 218 vote. So our current estimations are about $200,000, and that's not inclusive of staff time and legal fees. Again, additional funds would be required for assessment of the park inventory and also identifying what the capital needs are. This, of course, would provide full local control, but also has some of the highest fiscal and procedural risks, which we had talked about in the workshop, considering the Proposition 218 vote has to be voted upon by the residents that reside within each of those zones. So just for a general overview, when we talk about the annexation process and LAFCO, which is a local agency formation commission, it's a relatively lengthy process. We estimate that just the application in itself, without having to go through a Proposition 218 vote, to take approximately 18 months from the time the city passes a resolution and we initiate the application process. If we go through the Proposition 218 vote, that could be an additional timeline. So with a Prop 218 vote, it could be up to 24 months. So again, these are all items for consideration. I do have a final slide that kind of gives a brief overview of the fiscal impact of each of these opportunities and options that we provided today, to kind of estimating the annual general fund impact, any associated one-time costs, and other considerations. So should City Council choose to move forward, with either option 2 or 3, because we currently don't have this in our adopted budget. We would have to reprogram funding elsewhere to move forward with this process. So at this point in time, that concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Director Mitchell. We appreciate the presentation. Council, do we have any questions at this time? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
We do.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the first speaker.
Dave Faust, followed by Melanie Phillips.
Welcome, Mr. Faust.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Just want to, as a Parks Commissioner, I had the opportunity to meet with you all during the joint session that we had with the City Council and PRTC last week, and I really appreciate the conversations that we had at that meeting and the discussions, and also the city staff's time in preparing the fiscal impact and analysis that regarding this annexation project. With the 3 options that are before you currently to consider, I personally prefer option 2, a phased approach to annexation, starting with Menifee Parks District. History has shown that Valleywide has not been an equal partner with the city and park operations, which is the option 1 partnership approach. I do understand the impact to the general fund burden of about $650,000 per year. But this Menifee Parks District, as was mentioned, includes 12 parks, including the Wheatfield Park and the Recreation Center, an indoor recreation center that's greatly needed, and the Menifee Gym. This also, just something to note, if you look again at the map of the Menifee Parks District, you'll notice that it surrounds 3 sides of the new Menifee Hills land purchase that was made just a few months ago, and it includes Aldergate Park, which would be a great jumping-off point for Menifee Hills, any type of recreation that would occur there, as well as it skirts the proposed Salt Creek Trail extension, which we just approved doing further study on it. So that's my recommendation to City Council, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Faust. Madam Clerk, next speaker.
Melanie Phillips.
Welcome, Ms. Phillips.
Hi, my name is Melanie Phillips. I'm the Regional Commissioner for Menifee AYSO. I spoke last week at the special meeting in regards to annexing Valleywide. I wanted to address a few things that came up after I spoke that we weren't able to touch on. The council's reasoning for taking over the Valleywide parks and for spending the city dollars to do so is based on the idea that the city parks are the gold standard for all parks in Menifee. I'm familiar with the city parks through our program and can give you a few examples of parks that are in dire need of some TLC right now. Centennial Park is our main lit park with the city. We recently were told they were putting in sod since it had been many years since the grass had been redone. After the announcement that the park had been reopened, it was relayed to us that they had run out of funding to do sod and opted to just overseed. And on our opening day, the playing surface was still 30% dirt. We can't run games there because of the height difference between the tufts of grass and the dirt spots. It's a huge hazard for our players in a full-speed game. Audie Murphy Sports Park recently got sod and it was beautiful for about a month. They have since stopped watering, even though it's still very hot. The field is already browned and has dead spots, and the bathroom is one of the worst in Menifee District. Hidden Hills, Remington, Pete Peterson, Novo Park, and many others are unusable after 6:45 p.m. right now, and even earlier in the spring because they don't have lights. Courts Park is beautiful, but is unusable for practices because it has no parking. I have far less quality issues with my Valleywide parks than I do my Menifee City parks, but I feel like the council is blinded by the possibility of being the monopolizing owner of all of them. It was estimated in the meeting last week that this annexation would cost an approximate $1.5 million annually, and my understanding is that the estimation is based upon Valleywide's facility rental rates, and the city is also suggesting lowering those if they were to annex, making the cost even higher than initially proposed. If that same money were to be spent toward lights at some of the major unlit parks you already own, you would essentially add 15 hours of practice time weekly to each park. Hidden Hills, that would allow us to have 24 additional teams practicing, Remington another 30, Nova Park another 36, all estimations based on current team allowances at each. That's an astronomical improvement for all our organizations, and with lights estimated at $400,000 per field based on previous meetings I've attended with you guys, you could light all 3 of them for the cost of 1 year's worth of owning valley-wide parks and give nearly 100 teams practice space they don't already have. If you do that at all 12 or so parks that need lights within your jurisdiction, you've now solved a problem for countless organizations. Use that money to solve the problems at your own fields before trying to gobble up the competition. The city's fields are not the quality that you guys all seem to believe that they are. I'm not disagreeing that Valleywide has its flaws and that communication could improve, but it's very frustrating for the heads of our organizations to listen to you guys toss around the idea of spending millions of dollars while we're hard-pressed to use your fields for practices because there are no lights, and the fields that we are given are not in good shape even on their first day of being open due to lack of funding. I would hope that with some knowledge about your own parks and your own facilities that you guys would consider making improvements to those before spending millions taking ownerships of the others. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Madam Clerk, any other public speakers?
No other speakers.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, we're going to go on to council comments and discussion. Mayor Pro Tem Carwin, as always. Thank you, sir.
Councilmember Diedrich, you say I keep stealing your comments. Go first. Yeah, go ahead. I'll yield to Councilmember Diedrich.
Councilmember Diedrich.
So for me, this really comes down to local control, right? These are assets within our city. When we took over from the county, I think the intention all along was for us to be in full control of the assets within our geographic boundaries. And so for me, I think this would be a stepping stone to getting to that, to being more fully in control of the assets within our city. There are some issues with option 3 of the potentially for the Prop 218 vote and all of that. So as one of our parks commissioners discussed tonight, I am definitely in favor of a staged approach of going with option 2 to taking over the main parks. I mean, that's Wheatfield Park is where we hold our Independence Day celebration, right? So to be in control of that is huge. We just discussed Menifee Hills. Aldergate Park is right there. That would be a portion of the Menifee Parks, the central district there, of taking that over, being in control of that to grant us our access to Menifee Hills that we're working on developing, the Salt Creek Trail. So I'm highly in favor of moving forward with option 2 of that phased approach.
Thank you, Councilmember Diedrich. Mayor Pro Tem Carwin.
Thank you. To the last speaker, we're fortunate tonight because our Community Services Director, Mariana Mitchell, is here. So your concerns about the park conditions have not fallen on deaf ears. The person who is in charge of fixing that is literally standing here at the podium. More than happy to talk to you about all of it. So I would encourage you maybe to get together with her after the meeting and express those concerns, and maybe we can get a plan to fix any condition issues with the parks. And I also wanted to say that since we had our workshop, I did receive some comments, in particular from Laz Peterson and a couple of other people about Valleywide. I forwarded them to board member Chris Carnes, and he has been receptive and responsive to that. He's here, as a matter of fact, so I just want to commend our local board member for being present and engaging in the conversation. I don't know what he will be able to accomplish based on those comments, but he is at least accepting them and acknowledging them, which is more than we've had in the past. At the workshop, I was very, very critical of the plan to take over Valleywide. The money was staggering, but for me, the two big factors are, we've been talking about Menifee Hills kind of all day today, and Aldergate being a link to Menifee Hills creates a synergy with this whole big plan that we're trying. Having Aldergate Park under our control would seem to be a key to the entire future of our economic development in Menifee as far as placemaking and tourism and all that other kind of stuff. We'd have all of that. That would be a key link. And then Wheatfield Park is kind of the only place where we have ball fields of that magnitude and where we need space of that size and those kinds of things. So I've sort of come off of my hard stance against and doing anything at all. But I agree with Councilmember Dietrich, who stole my comments by going first, that and also Chair Faust, I appreciate him coming up and making those comments. I agree with the phased approach. I think the assets in that park district being available to the city of Menifee at our schedule and at our necessity and at our fee schedule would benefit the city a great deal. I'm not as convinced about the other two districts. We have to see how that goes with all the pros and cons that go along with it, but I would be in favor of option number 2, the phased approach.
Thank you. Councilmember Temple.
Thanks. You know, I don't know what to do when Bob doesn't go first in the comments. It's a little disconcerting. I'm also in favor of the second option. You know, when my family and I moved here 23 years ago, we played on Valley-wide fields, you know, and we love Valley-wide. So I don't want there to be confusion that somehow this discussion is we don't like Valley-wide and they haven't served us well. They've served us very well. They've given us wonderful parks, and it's been great. But I was reminded this week that when we incorporated, and we're celebrating our birthday today, when we incorporated, LAFCO stated to the new city that it was their intention that we become independent of other agencies, which would include Valley-wide. So this is purely about local control, the city of Menifee controlling things that are within the city's boundary and within the city's sphere. So I think that option number 2 is a wonderful option. As David Faust mentioned, it includes a couple of big parks as well as Aldergate, which is going to be the gateway to Menifee Hills, which you know, we have wonderful plans one day for that area. I think option 2 is great to give us local control of that area of Menifee, and that is what I am in favor for.
Thank you. Okay, Councilmember Dynas.
Thank you. I look at this as a multi-step process. You've got 3 things. You've got we want to take over the parks and make them, you know, part of our identity, and that makes sense. But it's not going to happen overnight, especially with the price tags that it has. So there's going with option 2 does get that process started, but then we have the north and south already, and most of the complaints I get from Valley when it comes to Valley-wide, either a lot of it's the right-of-way and in some parks is like they get after me for the city not doing it, you know, and then I say, well, it's Valley-wide, and then they ask, well, how do you get a hold of them? And I know their website, they have the district office and then a form to fill out. So it'd be nice as part of service to our residents if the city could work with Valley-wide to come up with a way for our residents to put in complaints or issues if they spot something on Valley-wide property in that regard, make it easier. And we can do that here in Menifee with either through the app or different ways of doing that. It'd be nice if, you know, to do that. I think that would be an easy step to help serve our residents. The other thing is, and I don't know, it's, you know, my youngest is 26, so I'm kind of past the Little League stuff. But, you know, I guess my question I couldn't find out on their website is how do they prioritize reserving the different fields that Valley-wide controls? You know, is it first come, first serve, or does Menifee residents get priority on the Menifee fields, or what? I mean, that'd be something worth looking into to make sure that, you know, since our residents are paying for the upkeep and everything of those facilities, to be able to have priority on that, much like they do here in the city of Menifee. We give priority to residents and resident non-profits, and then it goes out to non-residents. So I would think that would be an additional help short-term for our residents to be able to have those things assured that that's what their money that they're paying in taxes goes to those parks, and that they can access them easily. But other than that, I think going up the second option is, gets us started in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you. I definitely listened to the Parks Commission, and they mentioned several times in their meetings, they need more funding, and, that's something we as a council can consider in the future when we talk about our budgets for field maintenance and facilities, and we have growing parks. And so I hear the Parks Commission, and that's something we can discuss at a later date. And, we had a public speaker, Ms. Phillips, talk about the importance of the maintenance and making sure our parks are up to date. So we'll keep that as constructive criticism and try to improve our side and continue to invest on our side. I think it'd be important for our residents, though, to have uniformity and consistency in our parks. I definitely think having full visibility of what's going on at all the parks in Menifee benefits City Hall. Us as the visionaries and the decision makers can decide, are our residents getting everything they need in all parts of the city? So it gives us that visibility to their needs. I think that's important. But I do have some things that I'm not fully clear on, and I have reservations about, and that's on the infrastructure needs going on currently in the parks, what we would have to invest in the parks, how it's going with the facilities there on a more granular level. So I would like to understand more on that. Also, I think this topic also needs clarity for the voters who are going to be voting in the north and the south, should it get that far. A phased approach would give the residents more time to gain awareness of the issue, educated on the issue, give council more time to understand the infrastructure needs, and more on annexing the north and the south. And I think it would be fiscally prudent to start with the phased approach, and I would be in favor of the phased approach. Those are all my comments. It sounds like all 5 of us then were in favor of option 2, the phased approach. Did I hear that correctly? Yeah. Okay, I see all 4 head nods, and I'm a yes on that. So I see no other discussion. Staff, City Manager Villa, do you have enough direction?
Yes, Mayor. I think we probably need a motion from the council and a vote to seek option 2.
Okay, thank you, City Manager Villa. I'll go ahead and make the motion to pursue option 2, the phased approach.
I'll second that.
Okay. Oop, there we go. We have the motion and the second. And that passes 5-0. Okay. Thank you, Director Mitchell. Next, City Attorney reports. City Attorney Melching, do you have anything to report?
Not tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, City Attorney Melching. City Manager Villa, do you have anything to report?
The only thing that I'd like to report is I'd like to wish Menifee a happy birthday. Today we're 17, and we're having lots of fun.
Thank you, City Manager Villa. Next, we're on future agenda requests from council members. Councilmember Diedrich, we were talking a little bit earlier, and so I have a very specific proposal that I'd like to send to the Military Advisory Committee. And City Clerk Rosine, these are the specific proposal, and if staff needs to come back and watch the video, they can come back and watch the video. In celebration of America's 250th birthday, a $250 property tax rebate for the 1,400 100% disabled veterans, which would be an estimated amount of $350,000 for a one-time property tax rebate, contingent on having a surplus at mid-year or mid-cycle review. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it later. But yes, dependent on having a surplus. Councilmember Diedrich, do I have a second?
So just to be clear, is that to have the Veterans and Military Family Committee review that
Correct.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Then I will second that.
Okay, thank you. Council, do we have any other future agenda requests? Hearing none?
Mayor?
Yep. Yes, Councilmember Diedrich. I'm sorry, Councilmember Temple.
No, so I don't have a request. I just want to acknowledge that you're shipping out tomorrow and going on a 6-month deployment, and the city prays for your safe return, thanks you for your service, and I just wanted to publicly say that, and we wish you a safe deployment.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the positive encouragement. Thank you very much. I will adjourn this meeting at 7:16. Good night, Menifee.